Y'all, I just did this long 30-minute video. I hope that there's a part 1 and 2, because what I did was I planted my cold crops and the camera had blown down, and I think it cut off at that point. We'll find out. But anyway, I was just telling this long story about how with the tire change business, the EJ Tires, where I took it, which is right across the street after the AAA guy got the donut on, they wanted $65 for a used tire. I was like, nope, my mechanic, he will sell me one for at least 40, if not cheaper than that. And so I called and found out that the business is now closed. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm thinking that something had happened to him because, you know, my mechanic, a year ago, he had quadruple bypass surgery and he wasn't even supposed to be working. And so I knew that he was trying to sell the business, but he said however long it took, because his son-in-law was basically running it for him. He would just be there, but he couldn't do any work. And so he said, I want a certain dollar amount for the business. He said, and if I don't get it, then we'll be here and we'll figure out something else. He's like, but in the meantime, unless I get that dollar amount, I will not be closing. Well, he got it. But anyway, so when I called, it announced that it was now closed. It was a voice message. And I was so crushed, and I told my sister, I don't know if he's alive or dead or what. So I went to the Hispanic funeral home site, and I looked all the way through. I didn't see his name. I was like, well, maybe he's alive, so I'm gonna have to start asking around. And so anyway, I went to the store across the street, and so this one guy looked at my donut on the car, and he was like, I believe that your air is low in your donut. He was like, so you want to get that taken care of? I was like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do immediately. He's like, it'll last you a couple of days. He was like, but I'm just letting you know. I said, thank you so much. So he went off, and after I told him about, I was like, I thought my mechanic was still in business and he's closed. I was like, so now I have to find someone totally new that's going to be under the amount that they're charging at EJ's. And so he told me about this one place, so I'm gonna call them first thing in the morning. But anyway, I'll be getting the tire on tomorrow. But anyway, because everything is closed today, 5 o'clock snuck up on me real quick, so I'll just wait till tomorrow. But anyway, so after all that, I was fiddling with my phone. I was looking down, trying to get my phone situated there in the car. And so I happened to raise my head up, and who's standing there? Right in front of my car? My mechanic. I'm like, I was like, you got me good. I was like, I was trying to call you today to get a tire, blah, 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 blah. And so he was like, I got the amount that I wanted for the shop. He was like, so I got it sold. He's like, and he said, I'm now officially retired. I said, enjoy it. I said, first of all, I said, I want to thank you for the years of service. I was like, because when my mother, and I never told y'all the story, I told it on my other channel, about how when I had a flat tire once and didn't have a penny to my name, and my tire went flat right in front of his shop. So I pulled up in there, and when he came up and asked me, may I help you? I went into the big spiel about how I was trying to get to my mother who had just had a stroke. I was so upset. And I was like, I don't have any money. I was like, and I'm on a flat, I'm gonna have to walk home, which was gonna be at least 4 or 5 miles. It was a nightmare that day, and I couldn't get to my mother, and she was very sick at that time. It was like maybe a few days after her stroke. And so he looked at me, and he was like, he went and he came back with the tire. He put it on the car, and he looked at me, he's like, go see about mama. And he had been my mechanic ever since. And anytime I was in a pinch, and he didn't give credit or anything, but if I didn't have enough money to pay for what needed to be done, because my mother, because his sister was taking care of his father in Puerto Rico, so therefore he understood, and he was like, he's like, you gotta stay running. And he would do the work, and then I would pay him on time, and I always made sure he got paid as soon as I could pay him. But he did that for me even after my mother had passed. He had done that. And so now he's gone, so my good thing is gone, y'all. But I'm so happy for him, and I was so happy to see that he's okay. I said, may you have plenty more years I said, because I know, you know, with your health and everything, I said, same with me. I was like, you deserve a break. I said, because you work long hours every day. So I'm not in the least upset. I was just happy and overjoyed that he's still, you know, in the land of the living, because I just didn't know. And so he was just taking a walk, and he only lives like 3 or 4 blocks from me. So I will be seeing him throughout town and whatnot, just like I ran into him today. I used to run into him all the time, you know, just at the store and stuff. So it's not like I won't see him. I'm just happy. I wouldn't have if he had passed away. I'm just happy that he's alive. So I'm thankful. Okay, so let me show y'all the plants in case y'all didn't see them. Okay, I planted the cold crops, and I put the tool, I re-amended the soil, and I only went with bone meal, blood meal, and the plant tone, because this soil is basically compost, black cow, and it was amended last year. So I just did that, and I got everything planted, and I see it's perking up already. I put the clips here, and I got the tool. In fact, this one, I doubled up the tool. Okay, let me get this. And this one right here is triple, because it was so much, and that was my smallest piece. So I got it covered with the tool. A squirrel could try to get in there if he wants to. Okay, nothing's. And I got the bricks there. Now, he may jump on top of it. Hold on. I don't like how this third row, let me get that clamped down. Okay, I clamped it down. So the squirrel, he can come in here if he wants to, but he's going to be trapped if he does. But I think he'll leave it alone. I said he might try to eat through the tool. I don't know. That remains to be seen. So we shall see. Okay, and then the greenhouse was over 100 degrees today. And so I might have to try to get that. Well, no, that's why I took the plants out. So I'm straight now. Other than the herbs, I got the plants that were at risk out of there, the cold crops. Hold on. It's 80 in here now, last I checked. But earlier today, it was 110 degrees up in here. And it's still warm in here. And we're going to be in the 70s and 80s all week. Okay, it's 70 in here now. And it's about maybe, it's like the temperature has dropped. Oh, you know what? Someone had mentioned I should test those peppers. So let me do that. Right now, while I'm thinking about it, let's see if they're alive or dead. If they're alive, I'll start working on them again. Let me set the camera up, y'all. Okay, y'all can see the scissors. Let's test them. These are dead. No green. None whatsoever. These are dead. So yeah, I killed the peppers. But I have plenty waiting to be planted out. Okay, you guys. So, yep. So now tomorrow, now that I've done all I can, it's windy today. So I'll get in this greenhouse because I want to get it clear so that when the Grow Club comes, and she sent the notice today about it, and she's bringing the pizza oven to make pizza. So thank goodness I got that table set up, and thank goodness I have electric. So the pizza could go there, or if she wants to come inside to do the pizza, to bake the pizza, that'll be good too. So anyway, we'll see. So we'll have a crowd here on the 29th. That'll be next Tuesday. And of course, I will be filming on that day. So I like the little area right here. So this is what happened. I'm taking that little stool inside. I need that step stool. So I'm gonna get it washed up real good, and I'll put it in use inside. I don't even know why I had it out here. It was at the bottom of that white thing, and so I pulled it out, so now it can go inside. And then we moved the mulch earlier. Oh, this wind. It has been just blustery today. But anyway, so this is how it looks over here. So it looks a lot better. Oh, and I went to OSHA today. I took her the wrong deed, y'all. I took her the deed to my old place. So she told me, she sent me an email with her information. So all I need to do is just upload my current deed. I was approved, and actually they approved me for 2 services because on the application it said 1. So I had a choice. I could have taken the service for yard cleanup, which would have been a one-time deal. I could have taken it for the grass cutting over the summer months, and then possible snow removal during the winter months. We're not sure yet. She said we'll know by September if they're going to be doing snow removal, because they have to find workers, of course. I could have chosen gutter cleaning. Well, my nephew cleaned the gutters last year, so it'll be a while before the gutters fill back up again, because he was pulling grown grass out of the gutter. So I don't know how many years it had went, but it's fine now. When it rains, the water comes right through, nothing pools up, nothing's, you know, messing up anything. So, and then it was one more service I could have chosen, and so I chose yard cleanup. And the reason is that for the yard cleanup, it's not for like now what's getting ready to happen with the Grow Club. It's in the fall. So after the mowing season is over with, they'll come through on 2 occasions and they'll rake your leaves. So they'll be doing that up until it snows. So now I don't have to worry about raking leaves. So I'll blow them, you know, I'll blow them off the patio and stuff like I normally do. And I'll blow them out in the yard so they can rake if they want to rake. But really the leaves don't bother me because they'll break down and they help to improve the soil. So I didn't rake last year. I just blew from the patio. So if they want to blow from the patio, however they want to do it. But at least that's the service that I went with, so that I won't have to worry about anything with that. So my job is going to be, I told Sherry that's going to free me up for other things. First of all, I was talking about the weeds. I was like, I'm not pulling weeds. Well, now I can pull weeds because someone will be cutting the grass, you know, every week, and then they will be doing the yard thing at the end of the season. So my job is to keep it neat back here, and then also I can get that deck painted and the lattice, you know, once the lattice work is done, I can get that done over the summer because I don't have to worry about the extra work. And then I can tend to my garden, which is easy enough, you know, once everything is established, and then keep the yard neat and clean. That's going to be my job. So, you know, because I tend to let things go, so I'm not going to do that this year. And so I thank God for the service. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to get off of here because it's getting colder by the second. And this wind, it's going to blow my wig off if I keep sitting here, okay? So let me get on in. Uh-oh, after this gust. Woo! The leaves have popped out because it was really warm today, and it's going to be warm all week. And it looks like we won't be going to Harson's Island because after that tire business, we were blessed because that could have happened. Oh, and the tire, I thought I had ran over a nail or ran over something at the event, or maybe we ran over something at Harson's Island. It was just plain wear and tear. He said, your tire is bubbled on 2 sides. He's like, this was a bad tire, and it decided to go out on you. It could have happened on the highway on the way to Harson's Island. It could have happened on the island, and that would have been a nightmare because we would have had to get towed from there because there's no tire business on the island. Now, you know, off the island, yes. So we would have had to be towed to the ferry, and no telling how much that would have cost. So thank God he let that tire hold out until we got back to Pontiac safely. So I'm thanking God for that. So I'm not complaining. I'm gonna get the tire fixed, and that will be the end of that. You know, but in the meantime, I'm thinking I'm gonna get those other ones checked and make sure that there's no danger with those, you know, so, because I just got most of my tires like a year ago. I got 2 last year, and then I got 2 the year before. And I bought 1 new, and then I bought the other ones used. So, you know, I just want to make sure that all is well with these tires before I go back up to the island. But we have plenty of lakes around here, and then the one lake I like to go to, the crappie spawn is about to begin. all we need is 5 days of 70-degree weather. So now we're on day 2, and it's supposed to be in the 70s tomorrow. It's supposed to rain, and then Thursday, and then Friday is supposed to be in the 80s. And so I may go Friday to Lake 16 and see if the crappies have come in. So I can fish right here in town, no problem with me. Okay, so I'm rambling, so I'm gonna get off of here. I'm sorry that the other video, if it recorded anything, I'm sorry that it cut off that way. But if not, you'll just see this one. So I got you all caught up. So I will talk to you later. One more look. So it's looking better already. You know, I think once the growth team gets here, they're gonna see that I've at least tried. I've got to get all those cardboard boxes out, and then in the front I've got the cardboard. And that will be tomorrow because our garbage day is Wednesday. So I want to get that cardboard bundled up, and so they can pick it up with the garbage. And then some of that stuff on the side of the house. I won't get it all this week, but I'll get as much as I can. And then I'll get this deck situated, and then I'll start working in the greenhouse. So that's next. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later, and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.